PR Connections Radio presents. This episode of We Have the Power is brought to you by Classy Communications, PR, and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and non-profit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
Well, hi, everyone. I'm your host, Brian Gardner of We Have the Power. I am celebrating the 6th season here on the PR Connections Radio Network. So like, subscribe. If you enjoy this segment, let other people know. I'm welcoming everyone in today, especially artists, because we're going to be talking about, after the brief infomercial here in just a second, can artists make a difference, a positive difference, in the world with their art? I'll be right back and we'll discuss it. If you have the proper tool, usually things just go better. And one of the best tools in keeping our young people away from drugs and alcohol abuse are the booklets from the Drug Free World Truth About Drugs organization. Now, they have a series of booklets. Certainly, this is a drug that is out there, marijuana, and also they have it in Spanish. These booklets are free. You just go to drugfreeworld.org and you can obtain these booklets and share them with your family members, your friends. And this is a way to make sure they have the proper information, because these booklets do not say, don't take these drugs. They say this will happen to you if you do. And there's also a compilation booklet that has a series of different topics in there. One is alcohol, one is ecstasy, cocaine, crystal meth. We know that inhalants can be abused, heroin, LSD, and even prescription drugs can be abused. So use the right tool, get these free booklets from Drug Free World, and avail yourself and your family members, especially young people that you know and are in your family, of these booklets, so that we protect our young people and our loved ones from ever getting involved with drugs or alcohol abuse. Very good idea. Many times when I set up my classic Volkswagen art booth at festivals, I have those booklets as free handouts. So if you ever come to my booth, check and see if I have them there that day. You might be able to pick them up right there from the booth. Okay, We Have the Power, live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Today we are talking to artists of every kind. And how many types of art is there? There's just tons. Sculpture, painting, writing, musicians, just goes on and on and on and on. The question today is, can artists make a difference with their art in society? And I believe they can. I believe that one person can make a difference. Now, lawyers talk about precedents. What has happened before that could prove a point? Let's talk about this for a moment. A lot of people know who Rosa Parks is. She was the black woman who was sitting in the black section on a bus when they were still segregated. And a white man came back and said, "Get up, I want to sit down." She goes, "Go ahead and arrest me. I'm not getting up." And of course, she was arrested that day. And the black community got together. They carpooled, they drove, they walked, maybe some of them hitchhiked. They refused to ride those buses until they segregated the buses, which is the stupidest idea. Putting somebody in the back because of the pigment in their skin. If I was running the bus company at that time, I would have said, if you're a jerk bothering people, go to the back of the bus, not based on your pigment. So anyway, the bus company had to desegregate the buses because they were losing money. The Black community came together after what Rosa Parks did so successfully that it was hurting the bus company monetarily. So they went, okay, well, we're going to have to desegregate the buses, you know. But Rosa Parks, one person, she wasn't a trained PR person. She just said, you know, I'm not getting up. I've been working all day on my feet, you know. And I was working at a Ford dealership a number of years back. They sent me to Detroit. Let me try that again. They sent me to Detroit to get some training. And I was able to go to the Ford Museum, and they had found Rosa Parks's bus, the bus she was in that day, in a field rotting. They completely restored it, put it in the Ford Museum. I got to sit in the seat that she was in that day, and I was so aghast that she was in the black section, and this white person came all the way back to the black section because there were no other seats, told her to get up. It still wouldn't have justified it if she was sitting in the white section, he told her. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it compounds the stupidity of it that he went into the black section and told her to get up. Anyway, one person made a difference that day. And as an artist, you can make a difference, whatever kind of art you do. Now, I am a songwriter, and so the way that I affect positive change with my music are a number of things. First of all, I have a band called the Manzanita Acoustic Band. I'm not telling you that to promote the band as much as I am telling you to say that none of the band members drink alcohol when we're performing. Certainly no drugs at rehearsal or no alcohol at rehearsal. And we do that because we're working. You know, you wouldn't sit there and clug down a beer in your cubicle at work. You wouldn't be smoking pot or taking some drugs at work. Well, we're working. So we want to show the audience that we're in communication with them. We want to show the person who hired us that we're not over there just completely drunk out of our minds, can't play the songs right, and he never hires us back. And it's sending a message without one note of music. Wow. Hey, Charlie, do you know this Manzanita band? Man, nobody drinks when they're playing. It's really cool. They're like aware and they're communicating with the audience. It sends a little message. Hey, drugs, alcohol do not make you a better musician. They don't make you more creative. That's a lie, probably put forward by the drug dealers who want more customers for their money. But even that sends a message, and we haven't played any music yet. Okay. We arrive early and we set up decently and we look like a NASCAR pit crew. We aren't just all, where's the mic cords? Where, you know, it's all messed up. We know where everything is. And so again, you know, the person who hired us, who's watching us to see if we're a bunch of goofballs or if we're organized and professional, that sends a message as well. And if there's any young people watching or a parent with a young person in like a restaurant, Johnny, take a look at this band. Look how organized they are. You want to be in music? You got to be professional and organized. Right away, we're sending a message. Zero music has been played, and we're already sending messages. If you're a painter, a sculptor, or an actor, you know, the way you present yourself before you say any lines, before you show any of your work, paintings or sculptures, how you conduct yourself with manners, being ahead of time, not late to any performances or showings. All of that sends a message of what it's like to be a professional. Now, let's start with when you get into presenting your art, whatever it might be. A person who has a bunch of books and you know, the pages are all bent like this, you know, and looking kind of scrappy, you're probably not going to buy that book. You know, you have to take the care to package those books up if you're going to go to a book signing, so that when they arrive, they look neat and clean, and the corners aren't all dog-eared like this, you know. That sends a message. What is a professional? Again, you haven't even said one word from your book. You haven't taken the cloth off of your sculpture. You haven't played one note of music, but you're still sending a message. And to the extent that when you're in the arts or anything you're doing, and you come across professional, you're going to have more doors open for you than the person who's like, hey, what's happening? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know. Very true. Let's say you're not an artist at all. You're working in an office and you greet people who are coming into your business professionally. You're sending a message. We'll get back to the artist because that's the main thing I want to focus on. But you're sending a message that this business knows what they're doing. I will bet $1. If anybody is watching, $1, because that's a good amount. Everybody can join in. I bet $1 that if you went to the headquarters of Coca-Cola or 7-Up, that you could practically eat off the floor of those businesses' main office, their corporate office. Why is that? Because if you walked into a Coca-Cola or 7-Up or any kind of food company, and you kind of notice there's some dust on the floor and there's dust on the counter and things are looking a little dirty, that equates to the fact that what you're drinking from them is not clean. I know it's crazy because Coke is different than their office, but I bet you those offices are spanking clean because they are sending a message. Clean office, our food is clean. And if I lose the bet, you go to a Coke or a 7-Up facility. I'm not talking about a bottling facility that is not part of the corporate structure. I'm talking about the corporate office of any food company. I bet it is clean. Final thing before we get back to the artist. I used to shop at Albertsons. I still go there sometimes. But I noticed that Albertsons, everything was junky. Stuff was out of place. You know, there was like, when you wait to bring up your food, all the gum was where the candy should be and the candy was where the gum. It just, like, no one gave a damn to keep it organized. And I didn't feel comfortable there. I didn't like it. So I went to Raley's instead in Northern California. And Raley's, man, they kept everything clean, everything. Every time a candy bar was where it shouldn't be, it was put back where it's supposed to be. And then I noticed that Albertsons started doing that as well because they know that people don't want to be in a junky place where the candy bars are broken or the packages might have been dropped on the ground, got dirt in them somehow. So it's a message. So if you have a business and you're not even a musician or an artist, do everything you can to make that area where the customers first get to know you clean as a whistle, and you will notice a change in their responsiveness to you. If you have a truck on the road, 2 things. Make sure it's clean. Number 2, make sure your driver follows all the speed limits, does not run red lights, comes to a full stop at a red stop sign, and then proceeds. Because if not, then you're sending a bad message because your name is plastered all over that vehicle. If it's dirty, if the driver's driving crazy, tailgating, speeding, you know, and stuff, who's good? I'm not going to use them. They don't even monitor their drivers. Okay. That could be a whole show about how you put a good image out as a business owner. So let's get on to talk about artists. And I'm going to talk today primarily about what I do as a songwriter. So let's say you have everything in line, you get to the place early, you're dressed in a nice clean shirt, nice clean pants. I don't even wear jeans because anybody can throw jeans on. I wear nice black pants. That's a choice everybody has to make. Some bands kind of look good with jeans, but the key thing is you want to look clean, you know, you're shaved, you don't have bad breath, you know, you have some deodorant on because you're going to be interacting with the person that hired you, whatever kind of art you do. And if you're an actor, you need to know your lines, you know, and there we go. So with songs, now you're telling a story with a song. So I try to weave here and there, not get on a soapbox, because if you do it too much, it's overwhelming. If you do it too little, nobody hears it. You got to get that perfect amount. So in my songs, I have a little bit of messages in there that people hear and go, wow, relationships. I never thought about it that way, you know, and I'll go through the lyrics with you and you can see what I'm talking about. And I'll let you know that my next book coming out is the song lyrics of Brian Gardner. That will be coming out soon. and it will have 70 of my songs in it, the lyrics. Then on the following page, it'll tell you what was the inspiration for the song. I think that's going to be a book that's well received. The first one here, these are kind of in alphabetical order. First one is called All Day Long I Love You. And the key thing about this, it's kind of what it's like to spend the whole day with the person you really love. But there's a line in here, and you know I'll be around building on the love we've found. That speaks loudly that the guy's not going to be cheating on you. He's going to build on the love that we found, and you're the only one he's going to be with. Well, that's a good message to put out there, given that there's a lot of people that do cheating and that kind of thing. So that's just very light. That's one of the songs that is a romantic song, but it does have that line in there. The next one is called Baby It's Me. And it's a song about a guy saying what a lot of bad guys do. If you want someone you can always count on. If you want someone who will never let you down. If you want someone who will always be around. If you're tired of the guys who tell you lies, you look at them, funny look in their eyes. The promises they make have all gone away. The choice is plain to see, baby, it's me. Then the song continues, have I ever done you wrong? Do I sing the same old song? They say, trust me, baby, and you'll see, with not one word of honesty at all. I'm the one you know you can count on. So this is talking again about being true to the person you're in a relationship with. You've kind of made a pact. Even if you're just dating someone, you've made a pact that you're going to be there and you're not going to be doing stuff behind their back. And that's a good message to send, because good relationships last longer when there isn't cheating going on, of course. Now, this song's called Be My Friend. And it was co-written by me and a lady called Sherry Scott. And she wanted to write songs. She said, hey, I'd like to know what it's like to write songs. So she wrote some verses, and I wrote the music and then added another verse. The first verse is, I don't care about fancy shoes or a fancy car. It doesn't matter to me where you've been, only where you are. The person is saying, hey, look, fancy shoes, yeah, fancy cars, that's all nice. But what he cares about is not her past, long as she isn't manifesting her past in the present. It's where you are right now. This is all I want. Trust me as your friend. And the other verse that I wrote, now some people might warn you that I have a secret plan. All I want to do is help you if I can, because there's a lot of guys that, and some girls that get in a relationship to say, let's see what I can get. Hey, this guy's rich, yeah, cool. Well, no, some people might warn you that I have some secret plan. All I want to do is help you. If we're helping each other, that's going to make the whole world, our whole society, community much better. This one's called By Your Side. And it's really interesting because, again, and not all my songs are about relationships, but it says here, the two of us together facing whatever. I believe that a good relationship is made with two individuals that are like a team. They're working together. If a problem comes up, use these glasses as the problem, and tries to get between them to drive them apart, the smart people go, that's the problem, get rid of it, and let's hang together and defeat the problem. That is, as a team, that is a good foundation for a relationship. You don't let the problem get in between you and divide you two. Another line in here that people will hear, and they'll go, hey, it can go on forever and ever by just keeping it clean with nothing to hide, side by side. Now, am I saying that people never make mistakes? No. But if you're a team, somebody makes a mistake, you say, all right, tell me about it, honey. What happened? Oh, you kind of flirted with this guy a little bit, but you didn't do anything. Okay, well, all right, that's not right. Let's not have that as part of our relationship or whatever. Now, if someone cheats on somebody, there's going to have to be more discussion, more work to clean it up. But if somebody, I got into a store, man or woman, and I spent too long there and I was late for the dinner with your parents. I'm sorry, And it's not time to dump on that person. You're horrible. Okay. Thank you for apologizing. It's not right. Let's not do it anymore. Keeping it clean, getting rid of those little things that creep in between you, and pretty soon you can't even, where's the person I'm supposed to be communicating with? You just keep that stuff cleaned out. And that's in the song, This one's called Communication. Look around you. What do you see? People in communication effortlessly. There's reality and affinity, which means love. Perhaps there's a chance for me and you. So you keep things real between each other. You communicate. You have affinity for that person. If they do something wrong or make a mistake, you still have a high level of affinity. Also in this is something that I warn people about a lot. You have to be very careful with psychiatry. They like to drug people. All through history, psychiatry fails by treating people like animals. Communication, it's the key. With it, you can handle insanity. A lot of times, psychiatrists who are talking doctors could help their patients with no drugs. With its use, communication. I know you'll see the eradication of psychiatry, and I mean by that the drugs psychiatry puts into people. So that's a song that talks about communication. People might go, yeah, I should communicate with my kids more. Do Some More talks about the kind of community input we should have. Still a lot of work to do to get this world right. A lot of places that need to be brought into the light. It's going to take all of us working together. Yeah, I'm talking about a shoulder-to-shoulder effort. We're the ones. There's nobody else. The world is counting on us to get it done. Every single person should try to do something every day, every week, every month to better their communities. Do your part, the same thing. And I use an example. When it rains, watch the raindrops fall down into a creek. Makes a stream, then a river wide, then a raging waterfall. Rosa Parks was one drop of rainfall. And she kept at it. I'm not getting up. Go ahead and arrest me. She created a waterfall of getting all kinds of societal areas desegregated, and also helped Martin Luther King do all the fabulous things he did. Take a stand for something right. Stand up, make a difference. Build a raging waterfall. Don't you ever forget, as an individual, you are powerful. You can change the world. Yes, you can change the world. When I sing that song, these people are going, well, there's some messages here. I better listen. Okay? As an individual, you're powerful. You can change the world. Now, this one's just, I like to get humor into my songs a lot of times. I guess I'm kind of goofy. But the main thing from this song, it goes, well, I guess I'm kind of goofy, but there's a certain charm about a guy who really loves you and will never do you any harm. Well, that's somebody you can trust. And that's a good thing. I'm there for you. You're there for me. So we share the good. We share the bad. What are we going to do to keep alive what we found is true in our relationship? Spirit of play. You don't have to get all serious about everything. Keep spirit of play in there. Find out how to solve it. You mainly can't solve things when you get all serious. Probably not going to come up with many solutions. Create it each day. Do you know that a relationship's like a wind-up toy? You start putting energy into it and it's going along. This is great, honey. And then you stop putting into it and it comes to a halt, just like a wind-up toy. You have to create it every day. Why is that? Because your brother will always be your brother. Your mother, your dad, your sister will always be that. No matter if you don't put any energy, if they move away to Ohio, they're still your brother, mother, sister, father, whatever. But this person that you've gotten with, it's an agreement that there is a connection between you two. And if you don't create it, it goes away. So that's in my song. I'm your friend. You're my friend. That'll be true till the end. Friend is a foundation for anything else. There's so little we have to do to keep our love rolling true. There's so little. Just create it every day. And it's fun. That's what's fun about relationships. I may not get through all these songs because we're running out of time a little bit, but it takes just a little love. I wanted to share this with you. It takes a lot of sharing. It takes a lot of caring. It takes a lot of patience, whether it's kids or a person you're in a relationship with. But it takes just a little love. Even when things get tough, you keep love in there. All you need is a little bit, but it takes a lot of sharing, a lot of caring, a lot of patience. You know, kids are trying to figure out who they are. They don't know all the rules. Got to have some patience. And so that's in my song. Just Got the News is about how getting yourself into a bad situation is not a good thing. I just got the data. You're afraid of coming closer because of what you've done. This person's done something they shouldn't have. Now they're not talking about it. They're withholding it. You could have a win. You could have a success. If you would put down your sins, it would take some doing. Like, okay, I want to talk to you about what I did. I shouldn't have done it. And if you have communication in your relationship, you should have a time when, hey, communicate. This is a free time. You're not going to get in trouble. Tell me what you did. Kids included. And this is not going to get you where you want to go. You're doing things that are going to make you want to blow, and that means leave. Because people are basically good. And when they're doing bad things and no one's stopping them and they can't stop themselves, the only way that they can stop harming the person is to get far enough away where they can't deal with the person anymore. Don't have to do that. Just communicate. Life Rolls On is a song about how life is going to keep going on. And I do believe in reincarnation. That's up for you to decide. But decisions about which toy you're going to pick, who you're going to love, which friends are going to stick, each coming into focus at their own time as life rolls on. Yeah, life rolls on. And it's going to stay with you for a long time. So if you're a criminal this lifetime, that's probably going to carry over into your next life, and you might have a real bad situation there. New advice: if you're going to offer love, then really love. If you're going to offer reality, make it real. If you're going to tell them all you can do, then you better see it through. Honey, I'll be there. I'll pick up the kids. And then you get into a bar with your friends and forget to do all of that. It's not good. If you want to share some space, share it well. If you want a friend, hear what he tell. Listen to your friends when they're telling you something that is important to them or troubling to them. So that's another one. The other song, I think I'll end with this one, is called Perfect World. Someday I'm going to live in a perfect world. There's no crime, there's no war, there's no hate anymore in this perfect world. However, that's not how our world is today. There's still some things that need to be done to make it a perfect world. I want to live. I want to love. I want to thrive. I want to be in a perfect world. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to have a perfect world. That would be unrealistic. But this is what we're striving for. So that's another thing that people will hear when they hear my song. Now, I've just got about 30 seconds, and so I'll put a mark on this because I'll probably do a part 2 on this, because there's some other songs that have some very important information. But I want to leave you with the idea that you as an artist can make a positive difference in your own community, wherever you're watching this show or here in Las Vegas, by writing what you believe. You don't think animals should be abused? Find a way that doesn't pound on people's head. Don't harm animals. Well, then they're not going to listen. Weave it into the song. We should take care of animals because they give us lots of love. That's a smoother way to communicate that, and you'll get people listening. Because now that the show is coming to a close, thank you for watching. Share this with other artists and anyone who wants to interact with people. As an artist, you can make a positive difference with your art in our communities. Start. Enjoy. Do it. We need you doing it. Thank you. I'll be back next Thursday at 5 p.m. Part 2. I've still got a number of songs I want to go over with you that have some very interesting stuff in them. And that's how I try to put out good messages to people that they can latch onto and help change our community for the better, which you as an artist can do. Thank you for watching.
Voting is more than just a right, it's a powerful tool for change. Every vote counts and every voice matters. Voting protects your rights and helps to build a better future. And it's a way to hold our leaders accountable. Voting isn't just about the big elections either. Local elections impact our daily lives. It is important to study the candidates and the issues in order to make an informed decision. Don't sit it out. Your vote is your power. PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.